All right, you guys, it's episode 26 of War Stories. I'm going to get straight to it, man. Hat trick. I don't know if I'm going to get Inner Demons out tonight, but like I said, I don't get it out tonight. I got you guys tomorrow, man. But let me try to get this one out ASAP so I can get it edited and get it up and out for you guys. Anyway, so this one right here, man, I'm going to take you guys back to 2004. I want to say this was the beginning of 2004. And again, this is another one of those stories like the last one that I could have talked about a long time ago. I actually thought about doing it, but because of certain individuals that I'm still communicating with, I've opted not to talk about it. However, I've spoke to the individual that I'm speaking about, and I asked him what he felt about me talking about it, and he didn't care one way or the other. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to name anybody that was there. I'm not going to talk about anybody personally. However, there is one individual I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to name only because it's somebody that all you guys would know. And that's William Floyd, bar none, from the San Francisco 49ers. He's a part of this story. So let me get into it, man. So, like I said, this was around 2004, around the same time as the story that I just talked about with respects to the Crips from Seven Trees. Anyway, again, I'm out there, 2004. This is around the time when my regiment was up and running. I had everything established. So, it was all about making money, generating money, and trying to find other new ways of making of getting into more business and networking with people. And that's what I was doing. I was the kind of cat that when I was out there, man, I used to interact with my manpower, obviously. I would interact with them. Like I told you guys, a lot of it would be in my carport over there at the complex that I was living at. Sometimes I would shoot by their houses and I kick it with them. I make my rounds, man. However, my second in command, which was my buffer, Pony stupid ass, is another character that I'll be talking about in the future. His whole responsibility was to interact with the manpower, to take care of the day-to-day functions, to pick up the money, to make sure everybody was clocking in, make sure everybody was doing what they were supposed to be doing out there, to make sure that the policies were implemented and everybody was following them. That's it. So that's all he had to do. Go out there. The dope was, well, he had to drop the dope off and then pick it up and make sure that the money got back to me, so on and so forth. Anyway, at one time, and I'm just going to share this part of it with you guys, man. So there was an individual, because he is part of the story. There's an individual, again, who I'm not going to name, that started working with us out there. And he's not the type of individual that I kick it with. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. For those of you that read my book, you know who I'm talking about. So, right before I got established, this was around the time when I was looking for a connection, somebody to work with out there. One of the homies got at me and was like, B, I got this homie. He's a little baller. He's like, I want to bring him to the table, man. I want to, basically want to present him to the regiment, as a contributor, somebody that can benefit the regiment. He's a baller. He's got resources. We could use the dude, right? Plus, he's an NF sympathizer. He's one of them cats that, when it comes to the hermanos and the NF members out there on the streets, he's a big sympathizer, which is cool. There's a lot of homies out there that sympathize with the NF. They like to work with us. They like to contribute. They're always cats that are beneficial. So anyway, he tells me, he's like, yeah, this dude, he's got access at stupid weight. He's got a connection he fucks with. The dude has like some of the best dope in San Jose. If I bring this dude, can I bring him and introduce you to him? I know he'll he'll just be all over your shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? This dude, he'll meet you and he'll be like just salivating. Like, he's hasn't never really fucked with too many carnales, but he's somebody that I'm sure you could take them up under the wing, man, and utilize them. So I'm like, yeah, bring them by, bro. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he brings the cat by one day. This dude comes, he drives up. I don't know. He had two cars. I don't know if he came in. He had like an Avalanche with some like some fucking 30-inch rims. I don't know. There were some big ass rims. It's almost like, you know, it was at that time, it was to see who could get the biggest rims, and they were the coolest motherfucker out there. Just like back in the days, it used to be like who had the you know, the highest socks was the downest homie, man. Anyway, so I don't know if he came by in the Avalanche, but he also had a Lincoln that had some big ass rims on it too, like some 24s. Anyway, so he comes by, he's got one of these big ass white bomber jackets on, right? It's a one of them fucking white jackets with fur around the collar and shit. And he's a little baller, man. He got earrings in his ears. He's got a little fade, gold necklace, rings on his fingers and shit. So I'm like, okay, you know, he brings some weed, and so we're in my carport, we're smoking weed, and homeboy introduces me to him. So we're chopping it up, and he's like, yeah, bro. He's like, you know, it's an honor to meet you, homie. You know what I'm saying? But bro, you don't need to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a regular motherfucker, bro. It's all good, homie. Um, yeah, I'm a carnale, bro, but you know, you don't need to do that. Just treat me like one of the fellas, bro. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I never did. I wasn't that type of C. So anyway, we start chopping it up, and he's like, no, cool, bro. He's like, you know, I'd like to work with you, man. It'd be an honor and a pleasure, man. You know, I got a connection, bro. He's got a lot of weight, some good ass dope. He'd be willing to work with you. We got to kind of work it in, man. You know, he's somebody that's been got before, so he's leery. But I'm sure at, you know, in time we can get him to trust, you know, the relationship, and hopefully you can get him to start supplying dope, right? So I'm like, hell yeah. I mean, that sounds great, bro. That's what I need. Like, where'd you come from? So anyway, this dude, I'm trying to get him under my wing, right? So for the next 3 weeks, it's like me and this dude, it's like nonstop. Every day he comes over, we're smashing out to go do something. Um, I'm just kind of like riding along with this dude, man, and whatever he wants to get into, I'm with him. This dude's like a big kid. You know what I'm saying? He wants to go to in San Jose. I believe it's somewhere by either Milpitas or Santa Clara. They got a like one of those inside tracks with those little fucking cars and little go-karts. Them fast little motherfuckers, man. You can go there and get a license and ride the track and shit. Like I said, I don't remember where it was at, but that was one of his things. He liked to do that kind of shit, right? So I'm like, fuck it. I could still be a big kid, throw on a helmet, throw on a little tight fucking racing uniform and shit, and let's do it, bro. You know, this is what I gotta do to establish a connection with this dude, and to get a connect, you know, to get through to his connection. I'm all for it, man. So anyway, I start fucking with him. And you know, that's the kind of shit that we get into for the next 2-3 weeks. That he liked to go play miniature golf. He liked to go to different clubs. He was like one of them kind of cats, man. Pretty boy type of motherfucker. I thought he was God's gift to women, man. But anyway, so eventually he ends up introducing me to his connection. Well, the first couple times I get a little bit of money together, and you know, I had been fucking with this other connection, and then things ended up falling apart with that dude. Somebody burned him, and he got all fucking tripped out, started acting funny. So things just kind of shut down. So I didn't have a connection, but I still had money that I was willing to invest. So I give him the money. We get like I don't know, we get a pound, and he gives me some of that on consignment, you know, with the agreement I'll come back in a couple of days or whatever and pay him the remainder of the money. So boom, we flip it. We start flipping this shit quick. Like, man, we were dropping it like fucking hotcakes, man. And the people, like I said, it was high grade shit. People were loving it out there. So it didn't take us no time at all to get up to like 5 pounds when we were already in pocket. Like, bam, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm saying? We're doing it. So, you know what I'm what was I gonna tell you guys, man? There was a part that okay, so look, this dude, because I was utilizing him, I'm gonna be straight up. You know what I mean? He had money, he had the connection, and he had somewhat of a good business mind. He had good business acumen, man. He had some ambition and he had some vision. Like he wanted to open up a couple shops, rim shop, doing something else, and you know, a limousine business. He's the one that I opened up the limo business with, as a matter of fact. So then he had, you know, aspirations to open up a rim shop, which he ended up doing later on after we'd all end up getting busted. So you know, I'm going running around with this cat doing whatever he wants to do, and we go in on the limousine business together, and you know, we start doing the damn thing, man. So I kind of got to make this dude feel like we're business partners. Anyway, I'm running around with this dude. We got the limousine business established, and I got one foot in the door with the connection. Now, the thing I was going to tell you guys is kind of funny is this dude, he needed to feel like he was like my equal business partner because we had the limousine business together. You know what I mean? We were working together as far as the dope thing. He was helping a little bit. Plus, he felt like he was still tied in because it was his connection. But now he still wanted to feel more like my business partner. So we get the limousine shop together. We get it up and running. We get 2 desks. We go to what is it called, IKEA. And our thing was like he was gonna be the president. I was gonna be the vice president. We were gonna run the business like that. We had a silent partner, which was the connection that was investing money in the business. So it was a good arrangement. But he wanted to stay as like a silent partner. He didn't want his name on nothing, none of that. So it was a pretty cool arrangement. But now, like I said, this dude still needed to be pacified. He felt like he still needed he he needed to be made to be felt like he was my equal, if that makes sense to you guys, as far as like not being a C, but like as far as the whole business arrangement. We had our hands in a lot of different things. So I'm like, cool, man. You know, I I got the regiment, I got the manpower, you got the fucking connection. Together, combined resources, we'll do the damn thing. So we put our minds together, our business mentalities, right? Business acumen. This dude was a little bit different than what the homies are used to. All the homies that are fucking with me that are part of the regiment have been to the joint. So a lot of them are security conscious. They're streetwise. They've been around. They're not used to doing shit the way that this dude is trying to. Some of the things he was implementing made red flags go up, and they were asking a lot of questions. I'll give you an example. So, like, you know, we were coming up. We were trying to formalize a plan as far as how we were going to set up the limousine business. Our detailers, our drivers, people that were going to come in and work there, the homies. We were going to employ them, put them on the payroll. We were going to do all kind of shit like that. We're also going to have homies that were going to be slinging dope. And so his thing was, let's go get one of those white chalkboards and let's hold the meeting at his place, right? Which I'm like, cool, we can do that. What do you want to get the white chalkboard for, though, man? He was like, bro, this way we could do like a PowerPoint presentation and we can get up and we can write shit and make notes and shit like that. And I'm like, okay, bro, whatever you want to do, homie. You know what I'm saying? Um, my thing and my thing was this. I had to brief the homies like, bro, you guys don't trip off of some of this dude's ideas. This is just to keep him feeling like he's a part of the team. You know, he needs to be made to feel like he's an equal on some level, because that's just the type of dude he was. That's the best way I can explain it. That was his character, man. So, you know, he wasn't gonna be able to dictate things as far as the regiment, and you know, he wasn't gonna be like become some kind of fucking stamped underboss and start barking orders at the homies. That shit wasn't gonna fly. But I was allowing them to implement ideas that was gonna affect them as far as the business ventures. So one of the things though that he tried to implement that really scared the homies was So when we were in his living room, we got the board up, right? And shit was funny, man. It was hilarious. I'm thinking to myself, what a fucking shit show this is. But I told homies, just roll with it, man. Just roll with it. Don't trip. So he's up there, he's doing his thing, presenting his ideas, and he's like, so basically what I want to do is I got contracts for everybody, and I want everybody to sign their contracts. And some of this shit is incriminating. We're talking about drugs. I'm implementing policies, like, give you guys an example. Some of the policies that I had implemented was like, you guys can sell your own dope, but the regiment's dope is to be sold first. If you're giving regiment dope, you're not to cut it. It's to go out the same way that you get it. You're not to cutthroat the market out there on the streets. The prices are set, they're set. That's it. If you're never to pick up more on consignment than you can sell within a week. If you can sell 2 pounds in a week, you can pick up 2 pounds. But if you pick up 2 pounds and you don't sell those 2 pounds in a week, you're gonna get fined, and there's gonna be some type of fucking penalty for that. You just can't have a bunch of dope floating around out there. It's money, and you just can't do business like that. So don't take more than you can sell within a week's period of time. The other thing is, of course, the basic rules, like, whenever we're transporting dope, it's to be done by somebody, preferably that's not part of the regiment, somebody that is a legitimate driver, an insured driver, a car that's not, you don't want to fucking transport dope in a lowrider with fucking rims and shit, tinted windows. You want to do it in a car that's inconspicuous, that doesn't, get a lot of attention, is basically what I'm trying to say. So we're trying to be low key, especially when we're moving weight. And the thing about weight is I had another policy that I'd implemented, that if we're moving a specific amount of weight, that was going to be dependent on how we dealt with law enforcement. If law enforcement ever tried to pull over the vehicle that had the weight that was transporting the dope, because there was always 2 other vehicles that would accompany the main vehicle if it was over 10 pounds. If it was over 10 pounds and law enforcement tried to pull over that vehicle, whatever they had to do to help the homie get away, they had to do. Whether it was bashing into the fucking police car, whether it was cutting them off and whatever, or taking it to an extreme. We weren't going to lose no dope. And those that lost dope were going to pay for it, man. So, some of the policies were a little stringent, but they worked, man. And it wasn't nothing that nobody cried about, wasn't nothing that nobody felt like, this is too over the top. They were policies that benefited the regiment, and everything was done to protect the regiment's resources, the dope, the guns. We had a lot of guns, we had a lot of dope. Anyway, so when this guy started presenting, his ideas on this whiteboard, and he started talking about signing the contract, that right there didn't go well with the homies. A lot of the fellas, they knew this dude and they liked him, but they were like, what are you talking about? I'm not signing my name on shit. Hell no, I'm not gonna sign my name on nothing. Especially these contracts he wanted them to sign had a lot of this incriminating information on it. They had you're never allowed to pick up dope, more dope. That kind of shit was on there. I would never ask nobody to do nothing like that. And the manpower, if I was to ever ask somebody to do something like that, they would raise a red flag right there. They'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? I'm gone. I'm not working with this C right here. But I told him, like, hey, this is his idea, and just roll with it, man. And I will destroy those contracts. We're not gonna fucking he's not gonna be allowed to keep those contracts. So don't trip, man. But we gotta play this motherfucker so that He's just pacified enough to where I can utilize him the way I need to utilize him. Once I get him out the way, once I slide up under his connection and I can get him out the way, he's out the way, man. So for right now, just tolerate it. I'm asking you guys to tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? Don't trip. So that was one of the things though, man, that was it ended up being a something that a lot of homies were just like they frowned upon that shit. Like who is gonna be involved in criminal activity and be told to sign a contract? Put your name on the dotted line, motherfucker. Well, unfortunately, I had every intention on confiscating those contracts. Later on, I would end up confiscating them, but not before this motherfucker made copies, and I didn't know about that. He made copies that same day, or he had his girl, he took them in the other room, and his girl made copies, and then I got the originals, but fucking idiot, man, had those contracts, and when they raided the houses, later on, a couple months later, they fucking found them. So, um, me being the regimental commander, man, that fell on me right there, straight up. And I took responsibility for it. It's not something that should have never happened, but this dude, man, he was never supposed to sign those contracts, or he was never supposed to copy those contracts like he did. It was a scandalous move that he did. They ended up finding those. They found our business ideas related to the limousine business. They found his business card naming him as the president, me as the vice president. I mean, this dude was sitting on a ton of fucking paperwork, incriminating paperwork that he had at his house. As North Daniels, we're used to documenting everything too, man. We're used to keeping a lot of paperwork, keeping a lot of rosters and just notes and kites and rules, regulations, and policies. So it is what it is, man. A lot of homies are kind of used to that because that's how North Daniels, or that's how the NF, the NR, that's how they remain so organized, is by bookkeeping and shit like that. But that was something that just got a little out of it got out of context, man. And like I said, that was on me, man. But at the end of the day, it really all it really did was just help confirm something they already knew. We were with those or without those, it didn't matter. We were busted anyway. They had people telling on us. They had people that went and testified against us at the grand jury hearing that were working in the regiment. So it didn't matter, man. I got told on, they got told on, and it was a wrap. So those contracts really at the end of the day didn't, it's not like they were the smoking gun or nothing like that. And I'm not trying to justify it again. I take responsibility for it. Me being the leader, it was my fault, and I should have used better judgment, man. But it was one of those things. Anyway, so let's get straight to the nitty gritty of this story, man, because I'm really starting to kind of go out. I'm veering off into another to the whole regiment, the aspect of how the regiment was set up and the rules and regulations, policy, procedures. So, like I told you guys in the beginning, I would interact with the regiment, with the members, a lot of the times at my apartment or at my place, or sometimes I would go to their houses individually and I kick it with them. These were my guys, man. They were the guys that was working, that were working under me. So I had a relationship with them, but I never made it a habit of going places like to clubs, nightclubs. A lot of these guys, they used to like to go to the lowrider concerts, to the fucking flea market. There goes another war story right there. I just remembered something from San Jose, the flea market. That'll be another one. So anyway, I never made a habit of going to do shit like that because, for one, again, it wasn't my thing. For two, I had too much heat on me out there in San Jose at that time. And for three, those kind of places, it always led to me getting into some shit. Shit always ended up just something ended up happening. Somebody would end up getting hurt, and that's how it always played out, man. So I used to just kick back at the pad. Those guys used to run around. B, man, you ain't gonna come with us. And we're gonna go to the strip club and go to this club, go to that club. Nah, man, I'm cool. Anyway, one night they call me up and they're like, B, man, you gotta come with us one time, man. One time we got some fucking limousines. Not from our business, from another company. They had an Escalade limousine that was a big motherfucker that you could stand up in. I mean, we had the little Lincoln limousines, the regular ones, the stretch 12 passenger, fog lights, the fog. They were nice, decked out, mood lights, all the shit. But we didn't have no fucking Escalade. And so they rented one from a company that had an Escalade, and it was all the way live, man. When they picked me up, there was like, you know, at that time I was in a relationship with Vicky, my wife. She didn't go, it wasn't her thing, but I remember, man, getting into that fucking uh Escalade, and there was all kinds of females in there, man. And I remember walking through, and there was a couple that would end up getting indicted with us. I'm not going to mention them, but there was one in particular that I remember that she basically she was a NF she was an NF groupie, you know, and she was a good homegirl. Everybody in San Jose knows her, and she was a homegirl that, I mean, she a lot of homies used to try to get with her, man. She was cool, you know what I mean? She had that look, that homegirl look, and just a lot of homies wanted to try to get with her. But I remember getting on that Escalade. Let me just say this. I remember her grabbing my hand, and you know, before that, I remember she used to try to, if I wanted to go there, I could have went there. Is basically what I'm trying to say. But I always kind of avoided it because I was in a relationship and I was trying not to fuck around. Besides that, I wasn't trying to shit in my own backyard. It was too close to home, man. Anyway, um, but I remember, you know, that she did that night, and so we get into the limo, and we mashed down to downtown San Jose, and I didn't know where we were going. They just said we were gonna go to a club. So I remember we went to one club. So if you guys know where the Beehive is at, there's a club across the street from the Beehive. It might be like across the street and maybe up one street or down one street, or it might be just like right across. But I remember it was real close by because that club is the club that they intended on going to. It was like a cool club that they really wanted to get in there. But when we got there, there's like 15 of us. We're all sleeved down. We're all fucking tatted up. You can tell most of us been in the joint. They were like, "Oh hell no, nah. You motherfuckers ain't coming up in here." They were like, "No, it ain't that type of party." At the door, they stopped us like, "Nah, man, hey, we're packed out. You guys, we can't let you guys come in, man." So we're like, "Fuck it, man." Somebody was like, "Hey, let's go to the Beehive." Beehive was like right there. So like I said, it was either across the street or down the street. Somebody tap in when you see this and tell me what it was. I want to know what the name of that club was. So anyway, they're like, fuck it, let's go to the Beehive. So we smash over to the Beehive, man. Come to find out, I don't know nothing about the Beehive. I didn't know nothing about those clubs. Somebody had even suggested that we go to the Pink Poodle. Later on, I would end up finding out that that's a Hell's Angels club, which that probably wouldn't have went over well either, man. But you know, some shit would end up happening at the Beehive. So we get to the Beehive. Like I said, man, there was like 15 of us. We're mossy fucking deep, and we all file into the Beehive like 15 of us, man. And the whole mood changes when we get up in there. So I would find out later that the Beehive is like a club that, you know, a lot of Africanos go to, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? We kick it with Africanos anyway, man. I wasn't tripping on that, but I tripped when we walked in. It was like there was nothing but Africanos. And I'm like, okay, I hope these motherfuckers can behave up in here. Not the Africanos, but some of the homies, because you got some homies that are just stupid like that. And I never used to go out and kick it with them when they used to go to these type of functions, man. But so we file up in there, and like I said, the whole demeanor changed. Like everybody starts looking at us. Come to find out, one of the 49ers is up in there. He's posted up, and that's bar none, William Floyd. He was up in there kicking it, playing pool, and we walk in right away. Somebody recognizes him. They introduce him. I meet him. I shake his hand. I meet a couple other cats, and we all kind of like disperse and to our own little spots, and we start drinking and we start kicking it, man. Everything's cool. Nobody's tripping. However, this cat that I told you guys, the fly by night, the cat that has a different way of doing business, the one that ended up getting caught with all these contracts, he's there with us. And him being there with us, he wants to act tough. He's in the company of a couple C's and a bunch of NR members, cats that been to the joint. So he's gonna beat his chest and act tough, man. He gets a little bit of liquor in him and it's all over. So I'm kicking back and I'm kicking it with 2 or 3 cats that that I was real close with, that were working with me at that time. Those cats, I used to kick it with them more than I did with some of the others. I was just closer with them. Anyway, so we're lounging, and next thing you know, man, these fools are arguing at the pool table. And this fly-by-night cat, he's acting tough, he's getting loud, he's beating his chest, off comes his shirt, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, we could throw down right here, man. And you got some big ass Africanos up in there too, man. And there's like, they were pretty deep up in there, man. When we went up in there, there's probably about 20 or 30 of them. They had a bunch of women up in there chilling and shit. So, even though we were deep, they were deeper. And there was some big boys up in there, man, which didn't, I mean, at the end of the day, it don't really matter. We're going to squab. Nobody cares about none of that when shit kicks off. It's like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And these are a couple of these cats that are with me in my regiment. There's some little hitters out of San Jose. You know what I mean? I ain't got no riffraffs fucking with me, man. So we're drinking, and these dudes start arguing, man. And I end up telling the homie, man, tell old boy, man, to rest his fucking neck. Tell him to knock that shit off, man. It's already tense up in there. You got a couple Africanos that they're ready to go. And you got the homies, they're ready to go too, man. It got funky quick, man. Where it's like shit would have just kicked off any minute if I wouldn't have tried to I was trying to defuse the situation, man. So I tell the homie, get at him, pull him aside, man, tell him knock that shit off, bro. We didn't come here for all that. Plus, if he fucking gets motherfuckers violated and cats end up catching parole violations because they call the cops and we all get hemmed up, he's gonna have to deal with that, bro. So anyway, there was a couple Africanos, man, that, like I said, it seemed like they was ready to just straight get cracking. And it was because of this dude's mouth. He started calling them out, started talking shit, start fucking he got real testy, man. And I remember this one Africano, though, he was trying to get crazy, man. He started talking crazy and he just started getting mouthy. And I was like, man, hey, check it out, bro. Regardless, we're not gonna tolerate that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck who's right, who's wrong. You're still not gonna fucking just start running your mouth, and you're not gonna start disrespecting us, man. So that individual, I had straight keyed in on that dude. And if the shit was gonna kick off, that was the cat that I was gonna go for. I'd already had my mind made up that shit kicks off, I'm going straight for this dude right here, because he's got a big mouth and he's talking shit and he's trying to rile this shit up too, man. And believe it or not, cats that were with bar none were They were now kick back, man. Hey, we all fam here, man. You know what I'm saying? It don't need to be all that. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to diffuse the situation, man. I remember going into the bathroom and I used the bathroom. Homie was posted up and homie used the bathroom. And that dude came in, that Africano. And he came in and he started talking shit. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I told him, I'm like, hey homie, chill out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. Ain't nobody trying to get into it with you guys, man. But so I tell him, look, man, we ain't got no issue with you, but bottom line is this, man. It's not like there can't be an issue if you don't know how to conduct yourself. You don't know how to respect yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? If you get disrespectful, man, you're gonna get dealt with. And he, like I said, I don't remember exactly his words, but he was like running his mouth and he was like, I'm cool, man. I'm cool, man. And he was like, went to shake my hand. And when he went to shake my hand, I grabbed his hand and I just squeezed. I squeezed and he tried to pull his hand away. And I'm like, check it out, bro. I'm telling you, man, you need to kick the fuck back. Kick back and quit running your mouth, man. We ain't trying to get into it with you guys, man, but you need to chill out, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. And I'm still squeezing his hand. I'm like, you sure, man? You know what I'm saying? Because we're not trying to get into it with you guys, man, but it seems like you're the one that's fucking trying to fan the flames, man. Like you want to kick some shit off, man. Are you cool? Can you handle your liquor? Said something along those lines to him, man, and you know, eventually he was like, I'm cool, man. I'm straight, dog. I ain't trying to get into it with you guys, man. It was just like, you know, your boy is out there running his mouth, and it's like, man, I got that. All that's taken care of, man. But you know, it seemed like you still trying to push this shit, man. And anyway, nothing happened. Unfortunately, I hate to bust you guys' bubble. I know you guys wanted a big ass gang fight, but it didn't happen, man. And it's probably better that it didn't. I was packing, the other homie was packing. I know a couple of the homies had knives on them and shit. So if shit would have kicked off, it would have got ugly, man. You know, it would have got ugly. What do you expect? You got some of San Jose's finest that are supposed to be out there, you know, from the regiment. And no doubt we were gonna tear shit up. We ended up tearing shit up later on, but that's another story for another day. You guys will get a bar of how bad shit probably would have went, because there was another situation where it did get ugly, man. And it just goes to show what some of the cats were capable of that were involved, man. But anyway, man, this is just another short one. I got a couple shootings that I'm going to talk about with you guys, man. I'm going to get into some other shit. I just wanted to make sure that, you know, a lot of the times when I start talking about this stuff, I look at the statute of limitations. Some of this shit is federal, so I want to make sure that I'm not putting my foot in my mouth and I'm not talking about shit that I shouldn't be talking about. Robberies and all this shit, man. So I still got a bunch more that I'm going to be telling you guys. We're going to be here for a minute, man. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was another quick one. Again, it's been a minute since I put anything out, so my mojo is fucking rusty right now. But hey, it was a night on the town in San Jose with the motherfucking regiment at the Beehive, man. Shit almost got crazy. And unfortunately, we might have ended up maiming a 49er, man. And that's my team. Anyway, man, it's your boy. This is episode 25 of War Stories, and I'm out.